Alrighty, folks, welcome back to another trade recap. Today I'm going to be talking about the trades I took on Wednesday, July 10th. I'm sorry, July 9th, 2025. So, hopping on the charts, I was on the 4 hour, and I noticed there wasn't really anything on the 4 hour. We were mostly just stopping up right here, right? So, I zoomed in onto the 1 hour, and I noticed that we were still holding this, changing the state of delivery um the day prior, right? As well as this bullish uh fair value gap. As you can see, the bodies never really displaced through it. We were respecting the fair value gap the whole time. Now the wicks do the damage and the bodies tell the story, right? So we were respecting this. And during London session, we had formed a beautiful market maker buy model. As you can see, we had a SMT here with ES right here, and we ended up just displacing and drying up to all-time highs on NQ. I didn't catch any of this move because for open we immediately just pumped up. You can see we're or before open, oh no, right at open we immediately just pumped up to the draw, right? So I was waiting and I noticed that ES never took out this all-time highs like NQ did. So we formed a big SMT bearish. As you can see, we had a bearish SMT. And so I zoomed in onto the 5 minute, right? And I was waiting for a change in the state of delivery, which we got here, as you can see, but I missed the move. I didn't enter right here. Now, what was the reason why I didn't catch this short? Well, the reason was because I was on the 1 minute at the time, and the change in the state of delivery was right here, right? That would have been the change of state of delivery on the 1 minute. And there was barely any lack of displacement through this change in the state of delivery. And usually I don't like taking trades when it's not as much as displacement because when we have good displacement, the candlesticks are bold. And even on ES looked kind of wonky. We were just kind of like wonky around. We did have this internal SMT as well, which gave it extra confirmation, but for some reason I didn't feel confident of taking this trade. Um, the 3 minute looks way cleaner, but like I said, I was on the 1 minute and I was maybe too zoomed in, and so I didn't really catch the move right. There wasn't really displacement either on on ES, as you can see, we were just kind of chopping down a little bit, which is why I didn't really have the confidence as well as here until we hit it and we pumped down, and there was no sign of re-entry, right? We immediately came all the way down. We were very volatile. Um, but yeah, so I missed that move, and so I was waiting to see if we get another move at the lunch at the 10:50 macro, and and I noticed that if we zoomed out to the higher time frames, that we created another SMT bullish. Let's go here. We created a bullish SMT after this big down move that I had just missed, right? You can see NQ never took out this low, and ES did. SMT, as well as this was a 4 hour fair value gap on ES. You can see right here. We had a 4 hour fair value gap. We tapped it. So I zoomed in, right? I was zoomed in. I had zoomed in. I noticed we had a SMT. ES tapped the 4 hour busy. And so I zoomed in on the 1 minute and I'm looking for a long here. I'm looking to see if anything presents itself. And I noticed we get huge displacement up. We get a change in the state of delivery right here, right? Change in the state of delivery. And so we kind of went we kind of went out a little bit without me getting filled. And so I had my entry, my fill right here, risking around 15 points, targeting this high right here. Why this high? Because this was a 15-minute SIBI that has yet been tapped into, right? It was unfilled. And why do markets move? One, attacking liquidity. Two, it's rebalancing to equilibrium. And three, it's rebalancing to inefficiencies, right? So it's rebalancing back to equilibrium to this range from this range, and it was rebalancing back to the inefficiency. So I knew we wanted to at least tap that 15-minute SIBI. And so I had my entry there. Macro ended. The macro ended at 11:10, right? And so we came down very volatile, tapped my entry, and I was aiming for this high, but I ended up taking it off right around here. Why? Well, because as you can see, I noticed at the time that ES had taken out this high that I was aiming for, right? So that formed the SMT. So at this point, I was up like $800, and it was an A plus setup, but the time didn't align with anything, right? There was no time behind it. So, and as you guys know, first it's time, then price. So I had just taken it off right there because I was just, I just called it a day. I was just not gonna be greedy, and I knew that S&T probably was gonna bring us back down, so I just called it a day. Took all my profits off right there, and yeah, that was basically the trade I took. One and done. It wasn't a A plus setup because of the time, but it was a quick scalp, I guess you can say. As you can see, it ended up playing out though. After the 12:10 lunch macro, we got SMT right here with ES, as you can see, SMT. Oops, oops. SMT here, and then we ended up pumping up to this buy side liquidity. But yep, that was the only trade I took.